morning and welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
Good morning. I'm Rhonda Lawnert.
And Chuck's away from the desk this morning, a little under the weather. Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders are one of the most overlooked groups in higher education. For the past 2 decades, a nonprofit group called the APAI Scholars have been working to help reduce financial obstacles and increase access to higher education for this under-recognized group, which also consists of historically underserved subgroups. Joining us now during Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month is the president and executive director of the APAI Scholars, Noelle Harmon. Dr. Harmon, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
This is going to be interesting to hear as well. Tell us more about the community that you serve, and why is it so important to celebrate them during this important month?
Yes, so we're really excited about the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month that's coming up in May. We are 25 million strong and growing, one of the fastest growing communities in the United States. We represent over 48 different ethnicities, and we speak over 300 different languages. So a really diverse and vibrant community, and we're excited to celebrate that.
Doctor, what are some of the challenges the group faces in higher education?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges for us is really the model minority myth, which you might have heard of before, but it's the idea that the Asian community is all the same, that we're a monolith, and layering onto that the idea that we have no need in our community and that everybody is successful. In reality, our community and that challenge really presents an issue for us because it affects the support that flows into our community. And so we receive less than 1% of philanthropic dollars. And that really is something that we're trying to overcome, is to get out the word that we are very diverse and have many different needs, and thus are hoping that recognition will garner more support.
So what exactly are you doing to get the word out? And, what are you doing to overcome these obstacles and these challenges?
Yeah, so we are celebrating our 20th anniversary, and in those 20 years have been very focused on scholarships. We have given out over 150 million in scholarships to over 8,600 students, and that continues to be our focus going forward into the future as well.
Doctor, you described this community as being a monolithic, or people view it as a monolithic society. And we were talking before the break. We identify maybe 3 groups when we talk about Asian and Pacific Islanders. But there's so many more. There's so many different variations and different groups that's there. How do we change that perspective in our mind? We always think Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and that's it. We don't think Laotian. We don't think Taiwan. We don't give everybody their own individual category. How can we change that mindset?
Yeah, so one of the things that we have been doing since we began in 2003 was be at the forefront of research that demands that we disaggregate the data. So to your point, there are so many different groups, and we have to understand the uniqueness of the experiences. For us, it's our students. What are they experiencing differently from each other, and how can we best support them? And the answer to that is different for all 48 groups. And so we advocate not only for disaggregated data, but also that just the Asian community as a whole has a seat at the table when we're talking about policies and issues that affect not only the community as a whole, but each of the different ethnic groups.
Now, with the APAI Scholars, what kind of effect, what kind of impact do you think this is making? What has been the ripple effect you've seen? Because you've had 20 years. So what are the fruits of this labor for you guys? What are you seeing?
Well, one of, something really touching to me was, being in Saipan and having a mom come up to me and share the impact of our scholarships. Her daughter received scholarships every year of her college education, and she shared with me that her daughter actually inspired her to go back to college, and that decision is going to impact their family for generations. So I think that's, just such an amazing story for us to hear. We're in DC, we get busy, how are we awarding scholarships? But to really have a personal story like that shared, that this entire generation family is going to make different decisions and sees the real value of education. It was really heartwarming and reminded us of the importance of our work.
Last question, Doctor. What's the most important takeaway you'd like to leave with our audience today about the need to help this community, and how can we reach out and become involved?
Well, thanks again for the opportunity. I think I'd want your audience to know that, our organization is the only national scholarship fund that focuses on this community. We give out $3.5 million annually in scholarships, but that is only 6% of all applicants who apply for our scholarship. So the need is really great. We hope that you would go to our website to learn more. Our website is APAI Scholars.org.
Right. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Very interesting subject. We appreciate you taking time out with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.